Okay, I've got your attention probably for about 25 minutes, I hope, and we're gonna see how fast I can get through everything. But again, my name is Eric Donovan. I'm the president of E613 Strategies, which is a group that focuses. I don't really like, and I can't stand here. I'm sorry. I do not like the word estate planning.
Sorry.
Because estate planning refers typically that you're gone, right? And as Ron Blue, who is a famous financial author, made the statement, he says, do your living while you're giving so you're knowing where it's going. And so that's exactly what I want to talk to you about today, is just some different strategies. We're going to go through 10 giving strategies for Rotarians using the Rotary Foundation and using some different tools that are available to you, and kind of give you some ideas. I keep telling Brian, I hope when I get done today, Brian's shooting low and this turns into a $2 million dinner. So that's my goal when we get finished here today. So just a real quick, I have to do this. This is the attorneys and all the lawyers that get involved. E613 is a registered investment advisor. Information contained in this report is for informational purposes only and should not be considered investment advice or recommendations. And advice may only be provided after entering into an advisory agreement with the advisor. So we got the attorneys out of the way. So here's the thing. How do most Rotarians give? The way most Rotarians give is through cash. I know that I've been guilty of that quite a bit. Somebody comes and asks me, I look at the checking account and I write a check. But of all the gifts you have to give, cash is the least effective and has the least amount of leverage inside of it. You give $1, you get $1 in tax deduction, but you're not getting any leverage outside of it. But this is not uncommon. 93% of high net worth people's wealth is made up of non-cash assets, but that's what everybody thinks about giving. I mean, business owners, I work a lot with a lot of business owners like, Eric, I don't have a lot of cash. I've got a business that's worth a whole lot, but I don't have a lot of cash. Very common concept. And so if all that you're thinking of is giving cash, instead of thinking about the ability to give out of assets, then what you lose is not only a lot of leverage, but a lot of ability to do some of the giving. So what we're going to do, I've laid out 10 different strategies that you can use. And depending on where we are from a time standpoint, because I've got a hard stop at 9:50, we'll see if we make it through all of them or not. But basically where we're going to start is strategies that everyone can use, and move into strategies that may not necessarily be for everyone, but it'll be good for you to know about because you may know people who can use those strategies. Or another way you can give that would be more efficient before you write us a check. So here's just a real quick caution. These planning examples are greatly simplified. There are other factors that are going to have to do with your life and your financial situation, and trying to figure out where we put it in here. Basically, don't try and do this without adult supervision. Okay? I mean, what I'm going to show you will work, but make sure you've got a good tax advisor, and everything I'm going to show you here too, you can do through the Rotary Foundation. Rotary Foundation has a great group of professionals there that you can call up and say, hey, I heard about this strategy. Tell me a little bit more about it and how I could do it. I mean, if you don't know someone and you don't have a professional advisor that can help you with it, call the Rotary Foundation, because these are all tools that they've got the ability to help you with. So, here's the first way to give. Giving appreciated assets. So a lot of these we're going to talk about securities and everything, but don't simply think in the mind of security. This is an appreciated asset. Could be real estate. Could be a portion of a business. Could be really anything. But you're going to get an income tax deduction on the full value of the asset by giving it to a public charity or foundation, which might be the Rotary Foundation. You can avoid capital gains and estate taxes on the sale. So for this example, what we're going to assume is you have an asset, let's say a stock. I know a lot of people around here, especially with the oil and gas industry, have owned like Exxon or Chevron forever. They're like, well, I love getting the dividend. I like, that's a good stock, and I've got almost a zero cost basis because I bought it so long ago. Why would I ever want to sell that stock? But maybe you were thinking about committing to give a gift to the Rotary Foundation, and you were just going to write a check. So what you could do, and this, again, these are round numbers. We're using 100,000 here. It could be 25,000. It could be 10,000. Don't get stuck. Please don't get hung up on me with the numbers here. I'll tell you, there are certain strategies we'll use in here where you will need to get hung up on the numbers, but not here. So you could give the stock, your Chevron or Exxon stock, or again, any other asset, you could give that to the Rotary Foundation, $100,000. what happens? You get $28,000 in tax savings because you're going to get a tax deduction for having donated that stock to the Rotary Foundation. Then the Rotary Foundation can sell the stock for $100,000. And the beautiful thing is, the Rotary Foundation doesn't have to pay capital gains taxes, so they get all $100,000 right back into the Rotary Foundation. You had a zero cost basis. Rotary Foundation doesn't have to deal with that. And you remember in our example, what we said is you were already going to cut a check, right? So you really like Chevron or Exxon or whatever the stock is that you like? Great, we're going to put it back in your account. Go buy it. Use the check that you were going to give to Rotary and repurchase the stock inside your investment account. And what you've done is you've taken something from a zero cost basis up to a brand new, you flatten that out so you don't have any, if you were to sell it again, if you ever got to the point that you wanted to sell it, you've reset your cost basis. So what you end up doing is washing out about $20,000 in unrealized capital gains. I mean, that's completely gone now. You also got to save $28,000 in current income taxes. So take that, just in those examples, 25 years of capital gains and income tax savings at 5% works out to a savings of $160,000. One of the things that we like to tell people is if you can start thinking about charitable strategies inside of your life and putting them in, see, the government has a program all ready to get your money into the social programs that they want to cover. You know, they've got a program in place already, and all they do is require a donation every April 15th. Right? You make your donation every April 15th, and they'll decide which social programs they want to support. However, if you'll get in front of it and take control of your own portion of that social taxes, you can actually end up with more by being in control and knowing what strategies are available to you from a charitable and giving standpoint, and this benefits the Rotary Foundation in this example. Here's the second one. Does anyone here have a donor advised fund with the Rotary Foundation? I know they've been pushing it really hard in Rotarian. Does anyone have one? You've got one. They're beautiful. I mean, you may want to give some of your giving to Rotary, and some of this goes to Rotary, but a donor advised fund really is when you know that you want to give a gift. You've got a gift that you want to give, but you're not quite sure where you want it to go or what you want it to do. A donor advised fund is an account, and there are many different ones, but Rotary has one. And you can make a donation to the Rotary Donor Advised Fund. You put the money in there, you automatically get a tax deduction. But you maintain control over where that money goes. You don't own it anymore. You've now given up ownership of that asset or of that check. But now it's sitting in an account with your Donor Advised Fund, and you've got time to think about it. This happens a lot with people that we work with, clients that I work with. We get to the end of the year, it's like we need a tax deduction for the end of the year before the year runs out. It's like, well, I don't know where I want to give the money. That's okay. Let's put the donation into your Donor Advised Fund so we get the tax deduction right now, and then we'll decide later in the year. Maybe you've got a specific program at Rotary you're not sure which program you want that to go to, but you can designate that later to a specific program. With the Rotary Donor Advised Fund, it also doesn't just have to go to Rotary. You could put it in your donor advised fund at Rotary and give to another organization so long as it's a qualified 501c3. Okay, so when you want to create an endowment to continue giving even after your income stops, another way to use the donor advised fund, so you get a bonus, you get a pool of money, or you've got an asset that you know is going to be sold. One thing you can do is put it into the donor advised fund. The asset gets sold. Again, when you're dealing with charitable component, there's no capital gains taxes, so 100% of the asset is in the donor advised fund, and maybe that becomes your giving pool for the rest of your life. Maybe you had a $100,000 or $200,000 asset that you weren't going to need, but you were going to sell. You could sell it. Now there's $200,000 because there wasn't any capital gains. Maybe you spend the rest of your life. That's where you do your giving from. That's another way that a donor advised fund can work in your favor. And when you want to engage your heirs in the joy of giving, go back up to this endowment portion, or even, there's two different ways to look at this. One is, and we involve our kids in this because we have a donor advised fund. Sometimes we're like, hey kids, we got this much money to give. Come help us decide where we want to do that or what programs. So we've already made the donation, but now we've got the pool of money we need to give. We can involve our kids in that. But if we don't give all of our money before we pass away, we leave the instructions of the donor advised funds to our kids. So then they've got the endowment left to give away.